Pearl Har-Barn, A Day of Moo Earning Chapter 1, The Peaceful Farm. On a bright and sunny morning, the peaceful farm of Pearl Har-Barn was bustling with activity. The birds were chirping merrily, the cows were mooing contentedly, and the chickens were doing what chickens do best, pecking and clucking about. Everything seemed just as it should be, with the farm in perfect harmony. The barn even had a welcoming sign that read, "Welcome to Pearl Har-Barn." At the heart of the farm was a wise and determined cow. His name was President Franklin D. Moo-sevelt, and he was lounging comfortably on a hay bale, sporting a pair of glasses and a top hat. He looked out over the farm with great pride. "Everything's going swimmingly," he muttered to himself. "Our crops are thriving, the cows are getting plumper, and our reputation for the finest eggs is spreading far and wide. Pearl Har-Barn is a picture of prosperity." Nearby, Bessie Fowl-man, the no-nonsense duck who managed the farm's day-to-day operations, was busy managing the cows, who were happily munching on hay. She had a calm and practical approach to everything. "You're absolutely right, President Moo-sevelt," Bessie said, looking up from her work. "It's been a moo-velous year. The cows are in top shape, the chickens are laying eggs like it's their job, and Private Ramsford hasn't fallen asleep in the field for weeks." Private Ramsford, a nervous sheep with a perpetually worried look, stood in the background, unsure of what to do. "Well, I was just resting my eyes," he muttered. Just then, General George S. Mutton, the farm's fearless leader and military strategist, strutted onto the scene. He carried a clipboard, exuding confidence with every step. "Listen up, everyone," he called out, gathering attention from the animals. "I've got the latest intelligence reports. Our defenses are stronger than ever. No enemy can penetrate our fine farmstead. I've personally inspected every barn door, reinforced the chicken coop, and developed a military strategy involving coordinated clucks, strategic egg drops, and advanced peck tactics." President Moo-sevelt nodded, impressed. "That's exactly what I like to hear. Now we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And spiders in your hay bale." General Mutton puffed out his chest proudly. "Don't worry, Mr. President. We've got this farm under control. Nothing can mess with us except for maybe the occasional bad weather report from Cluck Hennault." Chapter 2, The Calm Before the Cluck Storm. The farm was humming along, each animal content in their role, when suddenly, Cluck Hennault, the ever-watchful rooster, perched high atop the barn and let out a frantic crow. "Barnstorm alert! Barnstorm alert!" he squawked. "Incoming! I see them! I see them! It's the Hennault squadron." President Moo-sevelt's face drained of color as he looked up to the sky. He knew immediately who Cluck was talking about. "No, not them," President Moo-sevelt groaned. "The Hennault squadron. They're the most notorious gang of chickens and ducks from the rival farm across the field. They're always causing trouble and stirring up conflict. I never thought they'd attack, but it looks like the day has come." Bessie Fowl-man's face grew serious as she turned to the president. "I've heard rumors they were planning something big, but I thought it was just gossip from the gossiping geese." Private Ramsford whimpered, his fluffy white coat shaking. "I knew I should have taken up knitting instead of military strategy," he said, shying away behind some bushes. General S. Mutton, though visibly concerned, immediately sprang into action, flipping through his binder of battle strategies. "This is a nightmare. I've always feared this day would come. The Hennault squadron specializes in airborne extravaganzas, bombing runs with eggs, sabotage, and intimidation. The last time they attacked, they left half the farm covered in yolk and feathers. It was extraordinary." Chapter 3, The Attack Begins. Without warning, the sky darkened as the Hennault squadron soared through the clouds, their wings cutting through the air. The squadron, led by the villainous Admiral Chikoroku Yamamoto, flew in their signature egg-dropping formation. "Forward, my feathered friends," Admiral Chikoroku squawked, rallying his squadron. "For Eggsylvania and the glory of our farm, we drop the eggs. Let's turn their farm into an omelet they'll never forget." With a loud cheer, the chickens in the squadron, wearing aviator helmets, began dropping eggs from above. The ducks followed suit, releasing egg-shaped bombs that splattered onto the ground, creating a mess of yolk and chaos. Cluck Hennault flapped his wings in a panic, his eyes wide with fear. I knew it was them. The Hennault squadron. They've got egg-dropping technology, superior yolk delivery systems. We're no match for this kind of bombardment. As the eggs rained down, the animals of Pearl Har-Barn scrambled to protect their precious farm. Eggs landed in the crops, on the pigs, and even in the cow's water trough. It was extravagant chaos. Get out of here, you egg-dropping maniacs! Cluck Hennault shouted, standing on top of the barn roof. But it was clear that the battle was far from over. Bessie Fowl-man groaned as another egg splattered across her face. They're ruining everything. My apples, my corn. This is egg-selling chaos, but not in a good way. Private Ramsford, crouched behind a hay bale, trembled. I thought we were ready for this, he whimpered. I could be making a sweater right now, but instead I'm watching my friends get yoked. President Moo-sevelt, gathering his courage, shouted to his team, all right, everyone, we're not giving up. General Mutton, I trust your battle plans. Bessie, move those hay bales into position. Private Ramsford, do something heroic, anything heroic. General Mutton, ever the brave leader, raised a hoof and barked orders. Chickens, to your posts. We'll show these eggheads what we're made of. Chapter 4: The Epic Battle. Cluck Hennault led the charge, flapping his wings with all his might. The chickens followed, forming a defense, flapping their wings and creating a whirlwind of feathers. They managed to block some of the incoming egg bombs, but the Hennault squadron wasn't backing down. Meanwhile, Bessie Fowl-man, ever the practical one, pushed a giant hay bale into position, blocking yet another incoming barrage of egg bombs. I've got this, she grunted, pushing the bale with all her strength. I've been pushing cows out of the way for years. This is nothing. Private Ramsford, after much hesitation, bravely stepped forward. Brilliant, he cried. Let's herd these invaders into a corner. The chickens engaged in mid-air combat with the Hennault squadron, their pecks landing with precision and knocking the enemy back. Eggs were flying everywhere, landing on the pigs, cows, and even the sheep, but they held their ground. In the heat of the battle, Cluck Hennault continued shouting from the barn roof. Get out of our airspace, you egg-dropping maniacs. But Admiral Chikoroku had done what he set out here to do. He signaled his chickens, and they headed back to Exylvania. Chapter 6: The Realization. The battle might have been over, but in reality, Pearl Har-Barn had paid a great price. The farm was in ruins, with eggs everywhere, and many animals had been injured in the chaos. The lesson from this fight was clear. No amount of preparation could have stopped the attack from happening, but the animals of Pearl Har-Barn had proven their resilience. After the battle, President Moo-sevelt gathered his closest advisors. The Hennault squadron might be gone for now, but we must remain vigilant, he said, his voice steady. This attack has made it clear that we can't just sit around and wait. We must strengthen our alliances with neighboring farms, improve our defenses, and above all, stay united. Bessie Fowl-man nodded. We must rebuild and ensure that we're better prepared for whatever comes next. This may be only the beginning. General Mutton, ever the strategist, agreed. We have survived this round, but I fear it won't be the last. We must prepare for more, even if it's in ways we haven't imagined. President Moo-sevelt looked out over the farm, still covered in yolk. We will rebuild, and we will be ready for whatever comes next. And so, the animals of Pearl Har-Barn set about repairing the damage, fortifying their defenses, and training for the next round. The war was far from over, but they would meet it with strength, courage, and determination, knowing that the farm's future depended on their unity. The end. Fun fact, after the battle, Pearl Har-Barn began forging alliances with nearby farms, strengthening their defenses, and preparing for future conflicts. The farm was forever changed, but the spirit of the animals remained strong, and they knew they could overcome whatever challenges lay ahead.